Hello everybody, welcome back to the Cologne Zone channel. Lee back again with another video. Today we're going to be doing a list video. And yes, I know, as if there isn't fucking enough. But today I'm going to do it on fragrances that I personally feel have just slipped under the radar or have been received negatively that I don't agree with. So let's take a look. Right, okay, and just a quick sort of disclaimer. What I was going to do for this video, I wanted to make sure they were actual fragrances that were in my collection, and the one sort of honourable mention that I do have in my collection that I haven't actually put in the list is going to be Pure Shot. This one, it's the furthest away from the regular Amen DNA. I still think this is really actually quite nice. I don't understand the hate on it. It performs well enough for me, it projects well enough for me. Very dry smelling, it's got a bit of mint, got a bit of juniper. It's like the anti-juicy fragrance. It's not juicy at all, very dry, but I still think it's got its time, it's got its place. However, discontinued. I tried searching online, see if it was going dirt cheap because everyone hates on it. £69. So yeah, I really can't recommend you spending that much on this fragrance. If they ever were to re-release it, sort of £40, then yeah, of course go for it, but they will never re-release this. So if you've got it, might be worth keeping hold of it for a few years, maybe worth something down the line, if you don't like it, of course. Right, so let's actually crack on to the fragrances in the list. So first of all, we're going to start off with a little bit of a classic in this country, Paul Smith Extreme. Right, so this fragrance, I think my dad had it, my girlfriend's dad had it, my best mate's dad had it growing up. It's been around everywhere, so I feel like I'm a little bit cheeky for saying it's underrated or gone under the radar. But I feel like in terms of actual online reception, this gets none. I've not heard anyone speak about this. With top notes of cardamom, lemon and bergamot. This one, the cardamom definitely shines through with that. It's not really a citrus blast at all, really. It's got that cardamom spice to it. I think alleviates the citrus. It's almost lavendery, which isn't actually a listed note. But I definitely get a bit of lavender in this. It's just nice, aromatic, fresh. Now don't get me wrong, it's not the greatest performer. Of course, saying aftershave is never going to be. I get sort of an hour's worth of okay projection and then sort of turns into a bit of a skin scent after that. But for the price, £20 for 100ml, you can't really go wrong. You could just whack it on, you could respray it. The opening is nice enough to want to respray. It's very masculine, very fresh, and I love it. You can chuck it in your gym bag and you've got a nice after gym fragrance there. Right, now on to something a little bit different actually, and I'm quite surprised this one flew under the radar as much as it did. This is Dolce & Gabbana Intenso. Oh, this is fantastic. This is so different. It's an aromatic, fresh, aquatic, sea breezy scent, but it's got this sort of underlying tobacco note, and it really does change up the complexity of the fragrance. I think this is fucking beautiful. I think this is lovely. It's so different to everything else out there, I find. I don't think there's really much out there that's very similar, and I find that in actual fact it's a really unique scent with pretty decent projection and pretty decent longevity. You get about 3-4 hours off this, and then it goes into sort of like a nice skin scent and probably lasts for another 3-4 hours after that. And with the tobacco, it kind of could be an autumn scent as well, and it could be spring, and it could be summer. So you've got a lot of versatility out of this one. For the price of £30 for 40ml, it's a pretty good darn deal. There actually was a video that I stumbled across after doing some research, which pretty much does mean I'm just watch someone else's review and repeat the shit that they say. There was actually a guy who did a video on this, absolutely bombing it, absolutely ripping it to shit. And then turns out he opens up the cap and it's just the most obvious fake bottle you've ever seen in your life. So his point was completely invalid, and I don't even think he knows because the video's still up. All the comments say that bottle's fake and he hasn't taken it down. So if you do come across that, do not listen to it. This is great. Right, so now we're going to go for Boss Bottled Unlimited. Personally, hands down, my favourite in the Boss Bottled line. It's got grapefruit and mint in the top, some pineapple in the mids. Oh, this is just tropical. It's fucking beautiful. Just lifts everything up. It's not anything too minty, too herbaceous. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm not too sure if this is being discontinued or not. Either way, I managed to find 100ml of this for £33.99, and I don't know if you can all see. Oh, that's so good. Mine is running out. It's pretty much gone, so I might have to buy another one. This is absolutely fantastic. Right, now we're going to get a little bit of controversial. We're going to go for Diesel Bad. This is a fragrance that seems to have been just absolutely fucking ripped to shreds in the fragrance community. I got this kind of when I was dipping in and out of really giving a shit too much. I've always loved fragrances, but sometimes I go in spells where I won't really be seeking out anything new. I'll pop into the fragrance shop or perfume store, give something new a smell. It's probably going to be generic and I'll probably leave empty-handed. But recently now, I've really got back into my fragrances. I want to smell everything. And this one, I was quite surprised at how much hate it got, because I wore this and I think my dad got it for me actually, and he loves this as well. It's surprisingly a beast. This lasts forever on me. I put it on one day and it really blew my mind, and I was like, actually, fuck, this is good. In terms of the scent profile, it's compared to Invictus quite a lot, and I do understand that, I do get that. It is fairly similar. It's got a bit of lavender in the top, and it's got a bit of bergamot, violet leaf. There's no yuzu in there, but it definitely has that kind of vibe. But there is a bit of tobacco in this. I think it's in the base or in the mids. It really does help boost everything up, and it gives it much more longevity. And I think this, it really, really is something that people are sleeping on, and something that I think really could be a great signature scent. You could wear this in summer. I feel like you could probably get away with a few colder days as well. Maybe not full on winter, but autumn, spring, I think you'll be okay. It's a little bit like Invictus. It's just got a bit more of a tobacco-y note, so it's a bit more of a mature Invictus, I find. I wouldn't say it's particularly bad. It's pretty generic, but generic is never a bad thing, really. There's a reason why things are generic. You can find this for £45.99 for 125ml, so you can get a lot of wearings. Don't get me wrong, if you're a mad frag head and you've got hundreds of bottles, this probably isn't going to do much for you. If you're someone who's young, wants to get a nice signature scent, it is brilliant. Right, now we're going into ultra cheap territory right now. This is Lanvin L'homme. Now this one is just an absolute freshie, but for 100ml, I'm pretty sure you can get it for like 18 quid, which is like Nautica Voyage levels of cheap. And it's not like an aquatic fragrance like Nautica Voyage. It's definitely more of a citrus base. It's got a bit of grapefruit in there, a bit of lavender, so it does kind of have the slightest bit of complexity, but it's very, very mass appealing. And I think it's a nice fragrance, very cheap. Chuck this in your gym bag. As soon as you get out of the shower at the gym, spritz this on, you'll be going home fresh as a daisy. Good stuff. Right, another absolute dirt cheap one is Marc Ecko. I think it's just called Ecko, to be fair. It's been a very long time since I got this, and it was dirt cheap back then, and it's probably even cheaper now. This one, it's a bit of an apple bomb. It's really nice and fruity. It's a bit generic. It's a definite freshie. It's kind of got a bit of a melony smell, a bit of grapefruit, a bit of just generic citrus. Got a bit of tonka bean in the base, and a little bit of a licoricey note, which is quite interesting, really. I think this one's going for like £12 for 100ml. So once again, if you're young, just want to smell good, something to chuck in the gym bag, this is great. Really nice, fresh fragrance. One that I've not heard anyone speak about. This is Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme. Now this one is, scent profile wise, probably shouldn't be such a well suited for the summer fragrance. It's got woods, it's got cedar, it's got leather in it, so you'd think it'd be quite a pungent, quite a strong smell. Definitely one for the summer nights. It's a bit of a cuddly scent, woody, floral, aromatic, fig. Oh, it's just warm and delicious. But no, this one, £22.50 for 100ml. You can't really go wrong with that. So once again, if you want to smell a little bit different, still be fairly mass appealing, still have a little bit of warmth, but something that you can probably push for the autumn as well, fantastic choice. Right, now I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was actually going to use this as a bit of a placeholder, because the Lacoste Red style in play, probably for nostalgic reasons, but it's probably one of my favourite fragrances ever. It's got that delicious apple, and the only reason why I'm not putting it in this list is because I no longer have a bottle, because I ate up a 125ml bottle in no time. Now, I really like the top on this one. It's got a Rooibos tea, I don't know, but a fruit tea vibe, mango, a few spices, I know there's a bit of ginger in there, and a few woods. This one's fantastic, really nice, youthful fragrance. Once again, dirt cheap. You can find a bottle this size for about 16, 17 quid, and it is a beautiful fragrance, one that would really suit after gym wear. Sillage ain't gonna blow your ball bag off, but it is a very good fragrance. It lasts surprisingly long with summer fragrances, unless you're gonna get the odd beastly summer fragrance. They're all gonna fade pretty quick and be relative skin scents, but as you sweat more, you do actually give off more of the fragrance, so it's kind of swings and roundabouts. This one is just a pretty generic performing scent, but I think it's quite unique with that mango in there. This is fantastic. Definitely give this a try. And style in play, fantastic apple note on that one. A bit of fir tree, both absolutely fantastic. Lacoste are a really slept on brand. Right, the controversy does not stop with Diesel Bad. Jimmy Choo Man, everyone. Now this is another fragrance that I think just does not get the recognition it deserves, and it gets hated on. I personally really like this fragrance. It does kind of remind me, it's got a teeny bit of that sort of Aventus Sauvage vibe to it, a little bit in between the two. Of course it doesn't perform as well as any of those, but it's definitely got that metallic blue kind of Sauvage vibe to it with a bit of pineapple in there, and this one is fantastic. I hear people say this lasts an hour on their skin. I personally get sort of 3 to 4 to 5. I really don't see why this one is hated on as much as it is. I think it's really good. It is generic, it is very mass appealing, but sometimes you can't really go wrong with it. That's kind of just what you want. The Sauvage is generic, Sauvage is mass appealing, and due to no fault of its own, the Aventus DNA has become generic now. Of course that is because it started off and was an absolute pioneer. You can get 50ml for £30, so you can get it cheap. If you can get an even bigger discount on that, definitely give it a go. Fantastic bottle. I think the actual scent profile itself is really good, and it performs pretty well on me. I think I don't rate this any higher or any lower than Sauvage really. Sauvage just has a little bit more longevity and a little bit more balls to it, but this one's still a very good fragrance, so
don't just listen to haters.
Right, now we're going to go for Calvin Klein Man. It's got a bit of rosemary in it. You can definitely pick that out with a load of citrus, a load of bergamot. It's a bit of a bergamot bomb. Apparently it's meant to be like a spicy woody fragrance. Not at all. Get a little bit of woods in the base. This one doesn't really last too long, but you can't really go wrong for sort of 20 quid for 100ml. And you can just chuck it in your gym bag or wear it just before you go to the gym, so you don't stunk like BO, like some of you fuckers do. Put some fucking aftershave on, mate. I don't want to be smelling your fucking kebabby armpits. Fucking sort it out. Anyway, yeah, this is a good fragrance. Right, next we're going to go for Hugo Boss. I think this one's actually technically called Hugo Red. According to Fragrantica, it's called Hugo Red. I thought it was Hugo Boss Red. This one, oh, this is tropical. I think it's got pineapple in there, a bit of melon, bit of rhubarb. You can definitely get rhubarb that's in the mid there. That is gorgeous. It's tropical, and it lasts an okay amount of time. For the scent profile, you'd expect it to last 25 minutes, but it's actually pretty good. The bottle, I don't know if you know, it's the generic sort of Hugo Boss. I don't know if there's a line, like Hugo Boss for him line, that has the bottles. It usually comes with a kind of like twisty cap with the felt thing, kind of like the old bottles you get in sort of World War II, World War I, stuff like that. Definite military vibe. I'm not too sure why. Actually, let me just check. Ah, yes, yeah, so they got some fans. Right, next one. Right, and last but certainly not least, we're going to have a look at Diesel Fuel for Life. Now this one, it does just have a beautiful bubblegum opening. This one's so mass appealing. Oh, that is just a fantastic raspberry note it's got in there. It's a beautiful fragrance. Back in the day I used to think this was quite a massive one. As I've got more and more into fragrances, I would probably class this one a little bit under the radar. So if you do manage to get a good price on this one, I know you can find sort of £34.50. I found 50ml of this, so it can go for really cheap. And I think performance wise, it's got a similar sort of Invictus vibe with that bubble gum, probably closer than Diesel Bad to be fair. But I think this one is just absolutely fantastic and you really can't go wrong. Right guys, so that was the video today. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like, please subscribe, please ding that bell notification. If you've got any other fragrances that you have in your collection that you think are completely criminally underrated, or everyone absolutely tonks on it but you actually really like it, please comment in the comment section below, and you never know, I might grab them, pick them up and do a list this time next year, because YouTube needs more lists. Right, so I've been Lee from the Cologne Zone, and the pleasure is always mine.